Hey all, so tonight we're going to do a different kind of video. We're going to kind of do a step-by-step on choosing your perfect cruise itinerary and getting it set up. So we do this a lot of times when we want to go on a cruise, in other words, every day, and we're not sure where to go or where we're going to start, or for new customers of ours that just say, I want to go on a cruise, hook me up. And so this is kind of how we kind of go through the process. Yes. Okay. Step number one.
You're going to decide on your destinations. If you want to look at different regions like the Caribbean, the Mediterranean, Alaska, etc., just decide where you want to cruise.
Yeah.
You also have to take into consideration the climate changes. So in Australia, the winter is different than our winter. And we're going to just...
So number two, consider the time of year.
I just like to squish everything together because I love to talk. But you're not going to go to Alaska in January. Well, right. I wouldn't. You can, but I don't think cruise ships actually...
Cruise ships don't go there in January.
So
look at the time of year. Look at, what the time of year, not where you're at, but the time of year where you're going to go to. So, like the perfect example, Alaska in January. Not many cruise ships go there in January.
I'm questioning Alaska in August. So
you got to, figure out where you're going. Is it the same weather, the same seasons as us, or are they opposite? Like Australia in January, yeah, that's kind of perfect. Caribbean in January, sure. The Northern Mediterranean cruises in January, not so much. You
really want to determine the length of the cruise that you want to go on. If you've never been on a cruise, a shorter cruise may be
great way to start.
Yeah.
Sure.
Islands like Bermuda, Nassau, they also have, and it really depends on where you're leaving from.
Right. Going from out Long Beach, California to Bermuda wouldn't be a short cruise.
No, especially if you unless you flew out to like the East Coast and then you left from an East Coast port because you had to do that. But whatever the case may be, just
choose your the length. If you're a new cruiser, 3-nighters, 4-nighters, they're a great way to give it a whirl and see if it's something you really enjoy.
Get it? See if it's something you enjoy. Yeah.
More seasoned cruisers, 7-night, 10-night, 14-night, multiple stops in each, on the itinerary. They kind of pick a length, and another, part of that is how much time can you get off from work, If
you're retired, don't worry about it.
That's true, that's important, the length of cruise.
So another thing to consider is looking at the size of the ships.
Yeah,
so mega ships have amazing amenities, but smaller ships are more intimate. They might not have as many diner options or dining options, music, entertainment type of things. So if you're just looking to unwax, relax and unwind. Don't laugh at me.
No, I was laughing at what you said, not you.
You're laughing at me because I said it. Anyway, just kidding.
Don't be afraid of trying the mega ships. We haven't done any small ships like under 1,000 passengers, but we've done some medium and some mega and
schmegma. Nope. I'm sorry.
So the mega ships, yes, they can have 5,000-6,000 people on it, but they've also got 933 bars and restaurants. Well, actually, that's a lot. Slight exaggeration, but there's lots of restaurants, there's lots of bars, there's lots of lounges, lots of area to do things. So
it's a lot of stuff.
I feel less crowded on a mega ship at full capacity than I did on the Royal Caribbean Adventure of the Seas.
Correct.
At full capacity, doing a New England and Canada cruise where it was too cold and or rainy to be out on the Lido deck on the they don't call it the Lido, but you're not going in the pools or jacuzzi when it's like 42 degrees outside. So I felt more crowded inside that ship than anytime I've been on a mega. So don't rule out the megas.
Yeah. You're going to research the cruise lines that you want to go on. Each one has something different to offer. The ports, the shops, the amount of time that you're going to be in the port. If you don't want to get off the ship, you're not forced to get off the ship, but just you're going to want to find something that fits your personality.
As an example, Holland America and Cunard, their target demographic is much different than Celebrity and Royal and Carnival. The targeted demographic, meaning the people, the age group, is one thing. If you're in your 30s and you want a romantic getaway cruise and you book a Holland America, you're going to be on board the ship with people older than me, and you're not going to have a whole lot of nightlife options. So research the personality, research the demographics, the activities, the amenities, the plans, look at a lot of that stuff. And if you know of a good travel agent, they can help you narrow down those options.
And reach out to friends and family if you don't have a good travel agent, or just call us. So there's that.
True.
You're also going to want to compare itineraries, the ports, destinations. Every one of them has something different to offer.
Right.
And some places are better than others, but you just think about with the cruise that we're going on in February. There are 2 islands that I have not yet been to. So that was kind of the reason why we chose the cruise that we're going on. And it's fun to explore.
So you're going to find, let's say you want to do an Eastern Caribbean, okay, Eastern Caribbean cruise, and you look at Royal, NCL, and Celebrity. They're all going to do very similar Eastern Caribbean itineraries, but Royal and Celebrity, they're going to stop at Perfect Day at Coco Cay. NCL's not, because that's owned by Royal. They might go, one might go to Nassau, the other one might go to, I don't know, I can't think of the Eastern Caribbean, but look at the itineraries because they're going to be slightly different. Mm-hmm. We beat that one to death. So
yes.
Next up, consider the onboard activities,
which we've discussed previously.
Right.
But we just want to reiterate
line personality. Some cruise lines are going to have more nightclub options. Some are going to have better show options. Some are going to have more spa options. So, consider not just the personality of the cruise line, but the amenities as well.
Think about your dining options as well. Cruise ships have multiple restaurants, so review menus and specialty dining and choose one with the foods you love. One of our first cruises together, we did a hibachi experience. I had never been to hibachi. But
worth every penny.
Absolutely. We had a lot of fun, and I brought leftovers back to the room. Who has done that before on a cruise line? Hit me up.
Mm-hmm. Now, when you are researching those dining options, every online review you read, you must read it or take it with a grain of salt. And yes, food pun intended. Everybody's palates and personal food preferences are different.
Yes.
So, somebody who was born and raised in New England might have thought the lobster tail that they offered was absolutely horrendous because they grew up eating, 3-pound, 4-pound lobsters.
Just for the record, he's not referring to me. I've never had. I don't like lobster, and I was born and raised in Boston.
Just an example. But,
I didn't want you pointing at me without me looking.
Take all those reviews with a grain of salt, remembering that everybody's different. Some people are remembering cruises from the 80s where you could literally order 10 lobster tails with no additional charge. Not so much anymore.
And I like chicken, so there's that. Look for whatever.
Okay.
You're going to look at short excursions. What may be offered. Every ship is different. You want structured ship sponsored tours, or you prefer exploring, independently.
Independent ones, yeah.
You just be aware of your surroundings regardless.
Suggestion, if you've never been on a cruise before, go with the ship-sponsored excursions.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of reasons. The main one being that the excursion company has entered into a contract with the cruise line that they will go above and beyond to make sure, A, that you have a good time, B, that it's safe, and C, you get returned to the port prior to ship's departure.
Yes.
If you do an independent excursion, they are not under contract with the cruise line for any of those things.
They may not have the insurance that
Right.
the ship.
Yeah. Now, having said that, we've done a bunch of independent excursions and had a blast with everyone.
Pre-COVID.
Yeah, we researched them. We looked at the reviews. We contacted them. It's different.
But you can also
Anyway.
speak to people that you meet.
Right.
Another thing you want to consider is your cabin categories.
Do you want a balcony? Do you want a ocean view? Do you want an interior? Do you want to save some money by doing a guaranteed cabin, which basically lets the cruise ship put you in whatever room they want based on the category you choose. You can do a guaranteed balcony, and you're not going to know until like a week before you go what exact stateroom number you have. But you're going to get a balcony. Now there could be a life raft blocking your view of the ocean, but it's also going to cost you, $200,000-$500,000 less for that. Real quick, I'm going to take a minute to, let you know that if you like what you're hearing, if you like our videos, hit that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you find out every time we post a new video. Send us your comments. If there's some glaring hole in what we're talking about tonight with, how to research the perfect itinerary, let us know. We know a lot, but we don't know it all. And we're willing to learn and we're willing to have conversations. So
Absolutely.
back to the list.
Oh.
Next up.
Research prices. Cruise fares fluctuate, so track prices and the best deal for the choosing of your sailing. Yeah. Black Friday's coming up. They're pushing
lots of Black Friday deals going on.
A lot of Black Friday sales.
Yeah.
Get it? Pun intended. Anywho, if you also want to consider themes, if you want
very true
music, a lot of partying, different things. There's something there for everything.
Yeah. There's
everybody.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly. There are plenty of themed cruises out there.
You're going to want to read the reviews. Just remember, critic and passenger reviews give insight to the real experience on the ships and itineraries. However,
from their eyes, from their viewpoint.
Just like our opinions. These are our opinions.
Correct.
They're not based on anything but our experiences. So, again, open-minded, because what's going to be good for you may not have been good for them.
If that cruise critic is a 67-year-old woman from Minneapolis, what state's Minneapolis in? Minnesota. And you're in your 30s from LA, you're not necessarily going to have the same thoughts and feelings on things.
Correct.
Next up, booking your airfare. Got to book the airfare, obviously, unless you can drive to the port. Super, super strong suggestion here. Don't book your flights for the day of departure. Okay?
We have discussed this before.
Yeah. Book it the day before. If you're, even here, we live in New Jersey, so we usually fly at Philadelphia. We fly down to Florida, Miami, Fort Lauderdale. There's, half a dozen flights a day. All it takes is one flight for you to get on board at 9 a.m. for an 11 a.m. arrival that has mechanical issues or has this situation, and you sit on the tarmac for 3-4 hours, and then your flight's canceled. You got to get on the next one, which doesn't leave until 3 p.m., and your ship leaves at 4 o'clock.
They're not going to hold the ship for you.
No.
But weather is also a factor. If you're traveling in the winter months from the Northeast, just be careful. Yeah. Make sure that you go a day ahead, 2 days ahead, whatever you can. What you're also going to do while you're working on the airfare is you're going to look at hotels if needed for the pre
and post.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, I couldn't.
Yeah, if you're flying in the day before, obviously you're going to need a place to lay your head that night. Check out reviews, talk to other people. There are hotels that will include the cost of transferring you to the port as part of that rate. There are most of the hotels that are in or near ports at very least, they're going to have the ability for you to purchase a shuttle from the hotel to the port. Check all that out in advance because you don't want to show up and book this beautiful hotel in downtown Orlando, and you have no way to get over an hour away to Port Canaveral by the next day for your cruise.
True.
Okay.
You're going to want to arrange transportation, which again, we'll reiterate, it's so important to have them before you leave.
Yeah. Get that all lined up before you go.
Yes.
I'm sorry, didn't mean to
The
interrupt.
hotel staff that we have encountered have been amazing with the transfers to and from the airport, so don't worry about that. Another suggestion is to purchase travel insurance.
Yep. Oh man,
there are so many different options. However, if you come down with something and you need to cancel because of a medical issue, you're covered.
Yeah.
There might be, and again, it really depends on what plan you have, but you can get most, if not all of your money back from that.
And most of the time when you purchase that insurance, it's going to be under 10%. The cost is going to be under 10% of the cost of the cruise. Obviously, different plans with different clauses and options and coverages. But I can't even tell you how many times people, call me or text me, hey, Eric, so-and-so got sick. We're not going to be able to make that trip. What are our options? Well, the trip leaves in 3 days. You did not purchase travel insurance. And the person who got sick isn't even traveling. It's a friend. Yet you're out of luck.
SOL.
You're out of all that money. Purchase the travel insurance. Purchase the cancel for any reason add-on, and have that peace of mind. If something happens, you're covered.
Yes, even if you don't use it, it's nice to know that you have it.
Yep.
You're going to want to
Oh yeah.
Whew, and I always get this on the last day of the cruise. No lie. You're going to want to familiarize yourself with the ship's layouts and what they have to offer. You're going to want to review deck plans and activity schedules so that you can hit the ground running or the ship running. And again,
having a general idea of, okay, the pool deck is on deck 15 and the promenade is on
deck 5.
It's just the main dining room that you're in is deck 4 aft or deck 3 forward, or where the casino is, and having at least a general understanding of that before you ever step foot on that ship makes particularly that first day go much
smoother,
easier, faster.
Yes.
You start having fun like that instead of, all right, wait a minute, where am I? Where do I need to be?
Unless you get lost the whole entire cruise and end up there anyway. Hello, Chloe. You're going to want to pack properly.
Right.
I do. I overpack, and that's quite proper for me. You're going to want to, research the dress codes, the venues, the rules, and the weather to pack. Again, even though we went in May to a New England Canadian cruise, it was cold. That's coming from a New Englander. But
so know where you're going. And for the proper dress code. Most cruise lines have at least one, if not two, formal nights on the ship.
It's not a requirement, though.
There is a requirement. Well,
not to wear white-beaded t-shirts.
And there are certain things. You don't have to get, guys. You don't need a tux.
No.
But walking into the main dining room with a wife beater, cut off jean shorts and flip flops ain't gonna fly either. So know what that dress code is, and if you don't want to comply with it, then go to especially dining, go to buffet, do something else. You don't have to get dressed up.
But dressing up feels
kind of the point.
Not that.
We enjoy it, but
it's a dress and sandals for me.
Yeah,
but yes,
I wear
I don't.
Shirt and tie. Well, a shirt, slacks, and a sport coat. Sometimes I'll bring a tie. Actually, a lot of times if there's two formal nights, I'll basically bring the same, I'll wear the same outfit. One night I wear a tie, the other night I don't, kind of thing. Or maybe I'll bring a second button-down shirt, things like that.
We do pack accordingly.
Yes.
But yes, continue.
I think that's about it.
All right. I think we covered a lot. So have a great night.
Yeah. Take care.